Man, we just got spoiled over the holidays with a ton of new leaks and rumors all about Marvel's Phase 5. It's almost like the people at Marvel Studios asked Kevin Feige how many dope, amazing, nerdy things from the comics he wanted in this phase, and he simply said,
"Oh yes."
There are new reports about Adamantium and how vital it's going to be for the MCU moving forward. The search for Adamantium in Phase 5 is going to have ties to the X-Men, and it's going to have ties to the Eternals, including setting up the Eternals versus the Mutants in the next phase for Marvel. There are new crazy villains in Captain America New World Order, and we've got even more details about the Sentry and the freaking Void. And this stuff has me hype, baby. I mean, we've got the freaking Void coming from the Sentry. Oh my God. First, we're going to go bit by bit and movie by movie, talking about all the new rumors. It's insane. Holy crap, they're throwing a lot into these films. And in the back half of the video, we will get into speculation. What else could be going on with these movies, and what the heck is going on with the MCU in general? This mutant plan sounds crazy. So pop that like button like you're popping Wolverine's claws, and let's get into this. Now, this all began over the holiday weekend when insider Daniel RPK first introduced the rumor that the dreaming celestial Tiamat was actually going to be transformed into the island Genosha, which of course has strong mutant ties in the comic books. And in the Thunderbolts movie, the Thunderbolts are going to venture to that island in search of Adamantium. Now, I do want to stop and mention here that we have some conflicting reports here. Daniel initially says that this island is going to be called Genosha, but My Time to Shine Hello later says that she doesn't think it's going to be called Genosha. It doesn't actually have a name at all currently, but it's not going to be called Genosha. And people in the MCU don't even know that the Celestial's name was Tiamat, so they're not going to call it Tiamat Island either. So it's important to note here that in Marvel Comics, Adamantium is man-made using vibranium, but it would appear in the MCU that Adamantium is instead going to be connected to the Celestials. This Celestial that was turned into stone by Siri is now going to be this island, which again might be Genosha, might be just a new island. But the main thing to keep in mind here is that it appears as though the MCU version of Adamantium is going to be more naturally occurring and come from the Celestials. I think it's kind of cool. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. In addition to that, the scooper Can We Get Some Toast clarified that Adamantium is first going to show up in Captain America New World Order. It's going to be on the Tiamat Island, and countries are going to go to war over the island as it is an unclaimed land that has a resource that is potentially more valuable than vibranium. And then after that, Daniel chimed back in and said that President Thunderbolt Ross will be the main villain of Captain America New World Order, with multiple villains making an appearance in the film. Ross, multiple villains, and countries will attempt to claim Tiamat Island and its adamantium for themselves. Now, when it comes to the multiple villains going after the vibranium, we've got some new clarification on that, as well as My Time to Shine Hello has come out and said there are 5 big villains in this film. And she says they include Ross, Val, the leader, and she's not saying who the other 2 are. But Charles Murphy was teasing out Lyra, the savage She-Hulk, who's like a whole thing in comics, but she's essentially from an alternate universe. She's a She-Hulk in which there's an actual war of the sexes, males versus females. She keeps popping into our timeline to steal the DNA of super awesome studly dudes to help procreate and create more people because they don't really fucks with the men like that anymore. It's a whole thing. And who knows if they're going to do that, but regardless, they're doing a character that is essentially a daughter of the Hulk and Thundra, maybe. Like, that's just a weird tease by Charles. I also have some trouble like understanding how that's gonna work. Like, where would Lyra fit in to all of this? I don't know. Maybe they'll do something different with the character than what they did in the comics. Oh, and apparently it's Jessica Chastain. That's who they're eyeing for the main villain of Captain America. Who would be Lyra? Maybe. And it still leaves one more crazy villain. Now, I did privately ask her if it was Dr. Doom, and she said no, and it made me real sad. So it's probably not Dr. Doom. But at this point, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how is this gonna work coherently as a film? This is so many crazy Marvel things, and yeah, it seems like Feige is literally just throwing in everything and the kitchen sink. It's almost like he's daring us not to get excited for this movie. He's like, oh, you don't like this? Well, why don't you get some Adamantium? Oh yeah, well, you like a little X-Men time? Well, why don't you get a setup for Judgment Day and the Eternals? Oh, you didn't like She-Hulk? Well, here's another She-Hulk. Maybe you like this one. So let's talk about how we think all of this is gonna tie together and why this will likely be a very important film for establishing the sort of new Avengers roster. Because in my opinion, Captain America New World Order and Sam Wilson creating this new group of Avengers has to be a big deal. It has to resonate with people in order for Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars to be as meaningful to the MCU as what you got with Infinity War and Endgame. I've been talking about this for a while, man, but you need this new cast of Avengers to go through some serious, crazy stuff. You need awesome, new, fun, nerdy characters all interacting with each other in order to create some things that will pay off down the line. And so from what we understand, you're going to see President Ross becoming the Red Hulk in Captain America New World Order, and he will be the main villain across from Sam Wilson. You're going to be having a big conflict between Sam Wilson and this new group of Avengers that he's going to assemble and the President of the United States as Thunderbolt Ross. And it all has to do with the end of the Eternals movie, which is like, thank God, because this giant freaking thing coming out of the ocean was not addressed at all in Phase 4 other than in the Eternals movie. And frankly, we were all beginning to wonder what the heck was up with that. And now you're going to see a thing where this friggin' Eternal is going to end up being the island of Genosha, which is going to be an unclaimed island. And so you're going to see a lot of villains and world powers basically wage a war to take control of Genosha. Because the next bits about Thunderbolts are kind of confusing. Essentially, if there's a war for control of Genosha, but then the president has to send the Thunderbolts in to try to get Adamantium, that would imply that the United States does not get control of Genosha in Captain America New World Order. And according to the new leaks and reports, the Sentry is going to be created by Val in a super soldier serum after the events of Captain America New World Order. And then the Sentry with the rest of the Thunderbolt team is going to then go try to get Adamantium from Genosha or this Tiamat Island. And the newest leaks do indicate that the Sentry will begin as a part of the Thunderbolts team, and he's going to slowly lose his mind throughout the Thunderbolts film until ultimately snapping because of the Void. And oh man, let's linger on the Sentry for just a second, because it is so damn cool that he's going to be created by Val as a super soldier, be this incredibly powerful individual, and help the Thunderbolts team and begin as a hero. And then he's slowly going to go insane and basically snap and become a big threat that they have to stop at all costs. And this, of course, is very similar to the Dark Avengers and Siege comic book runs, in which the Sentry slowly loses his mind and succumbs to the power of the Void. The Void is like this dark entity. It's almost like the Hulk within the Sentry, and then the Void is insanely powerful. And when the Void takes over, basically nobody is safe. And I'm so excited to see that on the screen. And the Sentry and the Void together at the end of Thunderbolts is probably going to be something so crazy that a ton of people are going to have to be involved. Like, you're going to probably have the Avengers coming to help the Thunderbolts. You're going to have Red Hulk doing his thing, maybe regular Hulk as well, maybe some mutants if there are some mutants, maybe Doctor Doom, maybe Namor. Like, literally, the Sentry and the Void snapping out is a threat to the entire planet. So it could be very crazy and bombastic what happens at the end of that film. But that's not all. Take a deep breath, because we're about to plunge back into the super nerdy waters as we have even more information about how the Eternals is going to be linked to the friggin' mutants in the X-Men. Now, this is also coming from My Time to Shine Hello, but it did trickle out before this leak that they are going to be making an Eternals 2. This was via the management for the Gilgamesh actor. I'm still not clear exactly what happened, but essentially they were talking about his future projects, and they did mention the Eternals 2. And then My Time to Shine Hello comes out and says that the Eternals 2 is going to be Judgment Day, which is an event currently going on in Marvel Comics, but it's going to be more cosmic. And oh freaking man, is that crazy? So let's first talk about what Judgment Day is in the comics, and then I'll talk about how I think Feige's going to change it to make it quote unquote more cosmic. This is insane. So in Marvel Comics, it's sort of been this long-standing idea that when the Celestials first came to Earth and were experimenting on early man, they do create the Deviants, they create the Eternals, but they also put the X gene into mankind. And the X gene was this mutation that happened to certain humans, but it sort of laid stagnant from the time that the Eternals and the Celestials first arrived on Earth until, you get to Apocalypse. That's a whole sweaty, nerdy thing. But recently in comics, this idea was played upon in a new event called Judgment Day. In this event, you saw the Eternals essentially come to realize that the mutants were deviants, that the X gene is a form of the deviant gene, and therefore the Eternals, who are of course sworn and created to destroy the deviants, now had to destroy the mutants. You end up having Eternals and Celestials judging different mutants and different humans from Earth, and it ends up being this crazy big war between the Avengers, the mutants, and the Eternals. Now, taking that idea and making it more cosmic is a really intriguing concept. I wonder what that could be like, but my mind essentially went immediately to the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force, of course, is a cosmic entity coming from a place called the White Room. It's a force of nature. It's very powerful, and it essentially finds different hosts out there in the universe. At one point, of course, finding its damn near perfect host in Jean Grey. There are also mutants that can warp reality, and one of those mutants, Franklin Richards, who's the son of Sue Storm and Reed Richards, actually has a fight with Mad Celestials in Marvel Comics. And it actually uses Galactus as something of a pet. It's pretty freaking wild, but this is all just to say that there are mutants that are so freaking powerful that they have sort of interfered with cosmic level events in Marvel Comics history. So one must wonder if Kevin Feige is going to sort of cherry pick some of these other crazy mutant stories and combine them all for a Judgment Day in the Eternals 2. Now, this is a really cool idea, and it does also seem, according to these leaks, that Chloe Zhao may not return or may not be involved. And honestly, that's fine for me. I actually like the Eternals a little bit more than I think most people do, but it's not a very successful film. So look, I have no problem with her not returning, and you get another creative person in there with this crazy cosmic stuff, and you throw in the mutants. That's a really awesome idea. So I'm okay with no Zhao. This seems absolutely wild. We've also heard that Kevin Feige may well be doing an entire saga that focuses on the mutants, and one must wonder if this Eternals versus mutants concept is going to sort of linger into phases 7, 8, and 9. Is this going to be the next big frontier for storytelling in Marvel? It's just all really crazy, man. We could even be seeing characters like William Stryker or others being introduced in these next two movies, and it's just so wild that you're tying the Celestials to the mutants, adamantium, super soldiers. Everything seems to just be getting way crazier. The power scale is going up, and I'm so excited to see what Marvel does with even more stuff. Like, there's a rumors that we're gonna get a Shang-Chi 2 before the Kang Dynasty. Armor Wars might be crazy and have to do with some adamantium stuff. I mean, there is so much that Marvel could be doing with all of this. It's awesome to see the groundwork being laid. I'm very grateful that Kevin Feige is amping this stuff up. I can't wait to see the Sentry. Can't wait to see the Red Hulk. Can't wait to see Genosha, mutants, adamantium, super soldier program, weapon, plus all kinds of different mutants. It's freaking incredible. I'm here for it. I want to know what you think, though. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash a gosh dang like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and our live streaming channel. We give away dope nerdy stuff each month to some lucky subscribers. And if you want to watch more, why not check out this video I recently made about the Fantastic Four rumors and the Silver Surfer.